Imagine this. You're managing Barcelona in La Liga on Saturday, and then on Tuesday, you're managing the Netherlands at the World Cup. Same week, same brain, two completely different teams. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it happened multiple times. Today, we're diving into the football managers who were crazy enough or desperate enough to manage two teams at the exact same time. And one absolute madman, he managed four. Let's get into it. Guillermo Estabile, Argentina, and three other clubs. We're starting with the absolute GOAT of double jobs, Guillermo Estabile. This man didn't just manage two teams. He managed four at the same time for nearly 20 years. From 1939 to 1958, Estabile was the manager of Argentina's national team. But here's the twist. He was also managing club teams in Argentina. Not one club, not two, 3 to 4 clubs throughout different periods. San Lorenzo, Estudiantes, Huracan, and Racing Club. How is that even possible? Well, back then, football wasn't the billion-dollar machine it is today. National team jobs were part-time. International breaks were rare. So Estabile would manage his club during the week, then switch to Argentina for friendlies or tournaments. But here's what's insane. He won 6 Copa America titles with Argentina. 6, while juggling club football. The man was a machine. He won a championship with Huracan on Sunday, then beat Brazil with Argentina the next week. Today, this would be illegal. Back then, it was just Estabile being Estabile. The original multitasker. Rinus Michels for Barcelona and Netherlands. Fast forward to 1974. The World Cup is in Germany, and the Netherlands have one mission: win it all with total football. Their manager? Rinus Michels, the mastermind, the inventor of total football itself. But there's a problem. Michels is already managing Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And Barcelona's season isn't over yet. So what does Michels do? He manages both. He's preparing Barcelona for crucial La Liga matches while also getting the Dutch national team ready for the World Cup. 2 squads, 2 training sessions, 2 game plans, all happening at once. The crazy part? The Netherlands made it to the World Cup final. They lost to West Germany 2-1, but they played some of the most beautiful football ever seen. All this while, Michels was splitting his brain between 2 jobs. After the World Cup, he went straight back to Barcelona like nothing happened. Absolute legend. Sir Alex Ferguson, Aberdeen and Scotland. Now let's talk about the man who became the greatest manager of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson. Before Manchester United, before the treble, before all the trophies, Fergie was managing Aberdeen and absolutely dominating Scottish football. In 1985, Scotland needed a national team manager, and they wanted Ferguson. But here's the thing. He didn't want to leave Aberdeen. So they made him an offer. Keep your club job and manage Scotland. Ferguson agreed. For over a year, he managed Aberdeen in the league and Scotland in international matches. He'd be screaming at his Aberdeen players on Saturday, then switching to motivate Scotland on Wednesday. But it didn't last. The pressure was insane. Managing 2 teams meant double the stress, double the media, double the expectations. After the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, Ferguson stepped down from the Scotland job. He later admitted it was one of the hardest periods of his career. Even for Fergie, 2 jobs was too much. Guus Hiddink. This man is built different. Guus Hiddink didn't just do it once. He did it twice. First time, 2005. Hiddink is managing PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. At the same time, he takes the Australia national team job for the 2006 World Cup. He's flying between Eindhoven and Australia, managing training camps on different continents, dealing with completely different squads. And somehow, he takes Australia to the World Cup round of 16 for the first time in 32 years. Meanwhile, PSV wins the Eredivisie title, but Hiddink wasn't done. Chelsea are in crisis. They sacked their manager mid-season and desperately need someone. But Hiddink is already managing Russia. So Chelsea made him an offer. Manage us until the end of the season. Keep the Russia job too. Hiddink agrees. Again, he's managing Chelsea in the Premier League and Champions League, while also preparing Russia for World Cup qualifiers. The man is flying between London and Moscow constantly. The result? Chelsea finished 3rd and reached the Champions League semifinals, all while Hiddink kept Russia on track. 2 double jobs, 2 successes. Guus Hiddink is the king of multitasking. Fernando Diniz, Fluminense and Brazil 2023. Now let's talk about the most recent example. This literally just happened. Brazil sacked their national team manager and needs someone fast. They look around and see Fernando Diniz, who's doing incredible work at Fluminense. Beautiful football, winning games, The fans love him, so Brazil offered him the national team job. But there's a catch. He can't leave Fluminense. They're in the middle of a Copa Libertadores run, the biggest club tournament in South America. What does Diniz do? He takes both jobs. For months, Diniz was managing Fluminense in Brazil's league and the Copa Libertadores, while also managing Brazil in World Cup qualifiers. He's literally coaching Fluminense players at the club level, then switching hats and coaching some of those same players for Brazil. The pressure is unreal. Critics say it's impossible, but Diniz keeps going. The result? Fluminense win the Copa Libertadores for the first time in their history. Meanwhile, Brazil's World Cup qualifying campaign struggles. Eventually, the Brazil job becomes too much, and Diniz gets sacked. But he proved one thing. Even in 2023, managing two teams at once is still possible. Just barely. Fatih Terim for Galatasaray and Turkey. Terim had already managed Turkey twice before. He'd already won everything with Galatasaray. But in 2013, Turkish football needed him again. Both Galatasaray and the national team wanted him at the same time. So Terim made a decision that only he could make. I'll do both. He became Galatasaray's manager in September 2013, leading them in the Super League and Champions League. At the exact same time, he was managing Turkey's national team in World Cup qualifiers. The challenge? Massive. Galatasaray were competing in the Champions League group stages against Real Madrid and Juventus. Turkey were fighting to qualify for the 2014 World Cup. Terim's schedule was brutal. Champions League on Tuesday. National team match on Friday. Super League on Sunday. Repeat. The result? Galatasaray performed well domestically, but Turkey failed to qualify for the World Cup. The dream was over. The Turkish FA decided enough was enough. You can't serve two masters. In 2013, Terim stepped down from the national team to focus fully on Galatasaray. Even the emperor couldn't do both. You're absolutely right. Let me write their full stories. Peter Taylor for Leicester City and England, and also Hull City plus England under 21. Now let's talk about Peter Taylor, a man who loved double jobs so much he did it twice. First time, November 2000. England had just sacked Kevin Keegan after a humiliating loss to Germany. They need someone to take charge for one match against Italy while they search for a permanent manager. Peter Taylor was managing Leicester City at the time, and the FA asked him to step in. Just one game. So Taylor agrees to manage both Leicester and England at the same time, just for a few days. He picks the England squad, holds training sessions, managed the match against Italy at the Stadio dell'Alpi in Turin. England lose 1-0, but it's fine. It was just a caretaker role. Taylor goes back to Leicester full-time. But here's where it gets interesting. Fast forward to 2004. Taylor is now managing Hull City in the lower leagues. At the same time, he gets offered the England under-21 job. And this time, it's not just one match. He takes both jobs properly for nearly 3 years, from 2004 to 2007. The schedule is insane. Hull matches on Saturday. England U21 training camps during international breaks. He's developing young English talent like Theo Walcott and Gabriel Agbonlahor while trying to get Hull promoted. The result? Mixed. Hull don't get promoted under Taylor. He eventually leaves the club in 2006. But with England U21, he does well, qualifying for the 2007 European Championship. Taylor stepped down from a U21 job in 2007, having done the double job for 3 years. Not many managers can say they did it twice. Leonid Slutsky, CSKA Moscow, and Russia. Now, let's go to Russia. 2015. Leonid Slutsky is absolutely killing it at CSKA Moscow. He's won 3 Russian Premier League titles in a row. CSKA are dominating. He's built a dynasty. Then Russia's national team manager gets sacked, and the Russian FA come knocking. They offer Slutsky the national team job. But there's a problem. CSKA don't want to lose him, so they make a deal. Slutsky can manage both. From July 2015 to June 2016, Slutsky is managing CSKA Moscow in the Russian League and Russia's national team in Euro 2016 qualifiers. This is chaos. He's preparing CSKA for league matches against Zenit and Spartak Moscow, while also getting Russia ready for European Championship qualifiers against Sweden, Austria, and Montenegro. The pressure is insane. 2 teams, 2 sets of expectations. The Russian media are watching his every move. The result? CSKA Moscow win the Russian Premier League again. That's 4 titles in a row under Slutsky. Incredible. But Russia? They qualified for Euro 2016, then got embarrassed. They finished dead last in their group, losing to Wales and Slovakia. After the Euros disaster, Slutsky left both jobs. The experiment was over. Managing two teams had cost Russia their pride at the tournament. Looking back, Slutsky admitted it was too much. You can't give 100% to two teams. Someone always loses. Francesco Calzona for Napoli and Slovakia. And now, the most recent disaster. Francesco Calzona, 2024. This one's fresh. Calzona had been Slovakia's national team manager since 2022, doing a solid job. Then in February 2024, Napoli, the reigning Serie A champions, sacked their manager mid-season. The team is in crisis. They need someone immediately. They look at Calzona. He'd been an assistant coach at Napoli before under Maurizio Sarri. He knows the club. So Napoli make him an offer. Come manage us. But you can keep the Slovakia job too. Calzona accepts. Big mistake. He's now managing Napoli, one of the biggest clubs in Italy, while also preparing Slovakia for Euro 2024 qualifiers. Two completely different squads. Two different leagues. Two different expectations. The schedule is brutal. Serie A matches on weekends. International breaks with Slovakia. Champions League matches. It's nonstop. The result? Absolute chaos. Napoli's season falls apart. They finished 10th in Serie A, 10th. Remember, this is the team that won the league the year before. The fans are furious. The players look lost. Calzona is overwhelmed. After just 3 months, Napoli sack him. June 2024. It's over. But here's the twist. Calzona keeps the Slovakia job. And at Euro 2024, Slovakia actually performed decently, reaching the round of 16 before losing to England. The lesson? Managing two teams in 2024 is impossible. The game has evolved. The intensity is too high. Calzona learned that the hard way. So there you have it. From Stabil managing 4 teams in the 1940s to Calzona's disaster in 2024. The pattern is clear. The older the era, the easier it was to juggle. Stabil did it for 19 years. Michaels and Ferguson did it for a year or 2. Hiddink pulled it off twice because he's built different. But Tarim, Slutsky, and Calzona, they all struggled. The national teams suffered. The clubs suffered. And in Calzona's case, everything fell apart in just 3 months. Modern football demands everything from a manager. Tactics, media, training, travel, analytics, man management. You can't split that focus anymore. So the next time your club's manager looks exhausted after one job, just remember, some legends tried to do 2 at once, and most of them barely survived. Which story shocked you the most? Stabil's insane 19-year run? Hiddink doing it twice? Or Calzona's 2024 meltdown? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into football history. I'll see you in the next one.